Hey guys, thanks for tuning in again, and I hope you're all doing well. Today, I want to tackle a big question. Does Europe actually make better guitars than the US? Now, before we dive in, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Krenat, and here on the channel, all we do is talk about guitars, guitar gear, music in general, and everything in between. So if that sounds like your kind of vibe, please make sure to subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any future uploads. Now, when you think of iconic guitar brands, the usual suspects come to mind. Martin Guitars, Gibson, Fender, Ibanez Guitars, and maybe even PRS. And rightfully so. I mean, Leo Fender nailed the electric guitar with the Telecaster from day one. Gibson gave us legends like the Les Paul and the 335 and the SG, and in my opinion, the classiest guitars out there. Ibanez, in my opinion, their strongest suit has always been listening to their artists. Not only artists, but also their community and actually delivering on it. I mean, look at their roster. George Benson, John Scofield, Steve Vai, and recently people like Josh Smith. I mean, that speaks volumes. But here's the thing, Europe has quietly become a powerhouse when it comes to building high-end guitars, especially boutique guitars. We're talking about names like Nick Huber Guitars, Koenig Guitars, STS Guitars, Andreas Lowe Guitars, Panucci Guitars. I mean, these guys are setting a standard for innovation, craftsmanship, and tone. In the boutique world, I think Europe has no competition. I've had the pleasure to play and review some of these instruments, and I stand behind that 100%. That said, today I want to shift focus and talk about production level guitars coming out of Europe. Brands that are a little bit more accessible, but still bring serious quality to the table. Let's start with the first one. If you've been following my channel, you probably know that this is coming. I'm a huge fan of Maybach Guitars, and that's for a good reason. They make vintage inspired instruments to a great quality. I mean, if you're looking for a good Telecaster, you have their Texonian. If you're looking for a very nice Les Paul, they have the Lester. Whatever you want, Maybach has it. What sets them apart? I mean, most of their guitars are built in the Czech Republic. They hand select almost all the tone woods for their guitars, which is epic, and they really care about quality, and they're not just cranking out numbers. I personally played a ton of Maybach guitars, and I've never come across a bad one. That's not something I can say for every major brand. I'm looking at you, Gibson. But that's a topic for another day. And price-wise, you can get a Maybach Lester for around 2,200 euros. And if you want the same spec Gibson, you would have to spend at least double the amount. And that for me is seriously impressive. Plus, if you ever get your hands on a master-built Nick Page Maybach, as soon as you have that guitar in your hands, you know what I mean when I say that it's a very special guitar. To summarize, before you buy a Fender or a Gibson, try out Maybach guitars, especially if a local store near you carries both. Try them side by side, you'll get it. You've seen videos on this, but this is my Texonian from Maybach. It's beautiful, beautifully aged. It plays like a dream, and it's one of my favorite guitars. And if you want a really nice Les Paul without having to spend $5 on a guitar, this is your best bet. I love this instrument. Next up, we have our friends over at Dowina Guitars in Slovakia. These guys live and breathe what they do, and you can tell that with every single guitar they make. Let me show you my favorite acoustic guitar that I've ever played. It's their black Tulip model. This finish right here is called their Chaos Burst, and it's super unique. I've never seen anything like this before. They basically hand apply thin layers of vintage nitro, and every guitar they make in this kind of finish is totally unique. But it's not only looks, the playability of this guitar is just amazing, and I think it's the best acoustic guitar for electric guitar players, if you know what I mean. What I love about Dowina guitars is their authenticity. They experiment, they innovate, but the guitars still feel handmade and honest. You can feel the craftsmanship as soon as you pick up the guitar. Similar to Maybach, they also cherry pick the woods directly from Switzerland. And they've done some really cool work with Cocobolo. And if you haven't played a Dowina Cocobolo, you're definitely missing out. You'll often find them at exhibitions like Guitar Summit in Mannheim, Germany, or the Montreux Guitar Festival. And if you see them, feel free to reach out to them. They're really nice people, and they may or may not have some really good schnapps waiting for you. Every time I grab this guitar, a song just comes out of me. So let's just listen what this guitar is all about. Last but not least, let's talk about Furch Guitars. This brand is seriously unique. Like from afar, you might look at them and think, okay, they just do the classic shapes, dreadnoughts, OMs, parlors, and different wood combinations. But once you dig in, you realize Furch is doing things that no other company is doing. If I compare them to anyone, Furch would be like the equivalent of PRS, but in the acoustic world, if you know what I mean. They innovate like crazy. For example, they voice all the tops that go on every single guitar so that they can get the most out of it with special kind of processes like drying the wood out and sending shock waves through the wood. I'm not sure what they do. They just get science and put it on the guitar. And the CEO of the company actually explains everything in detail on one video I made with him at 42 Gear Street last year. So that's on my channel. It's live as we speak. So if you want, check that out. He explains it way better than I could. They also use the so-called CNR active truss rod system, which basically adapts your guitar and your guitar action and your setup to the humidity changes that are happening throughout the year. Yes, you heard that right. The action, the intonation, your entire setup basically will stay consistent throughout the year, even through big seasonal changes. Again, we go into detail with all of these things in the video I mentioned before we did at 42 Gear Street. So check that out if you're looking for more information. What's also cool is that all of their guitars from top to bottom get the same kind of tech, the same innovation, and the same treatment, which is just amazing. And if you want something travel friendly, they have these little cool guitars called the Little Jane series, which basically are solid wood construction. You can remove the neck and everything fits in a very stylish bag. And they sound great. They sound amazing. They play really nice. So if you're looking for something like that, definitely check that out. All right, let's get to my final thoughts. So, does Europe make better guitars? Honestly, in some cases, I think they do, and just the value for money that you get is unbeatable. It's not like American guitars are bad by any means, but European builders, especially in the boutique and mid-range market, are just pushing their boundaries on innovation, quality, and value. Whether it's the vintage vibe and quality of Maybach, the soulful artistry of Dowina, or the tech-forward genius of Furch, there's something truly exciting happening here. Alright, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to leave this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. It really helps a bunch. And I want to hear from you. Have you tried one of these European brands? What are your thoughts? Drop everything under the comments down below. With that out of the way, I hope to catch you with the next one. Until then, stay safe and have a good one. Bye-bye.